big projects that are very difficult to pull off. And then I started saying, okay, why don't I start with concepts like what I want this movie to be about, and then try to find like locations, things, actors that I could eventually reach, that I could eventually, So that's a different way to approach films, and I think that it's a more, it gives you more satisfaction in a point, because you don't get, disappointed because you wanted Robert De Niro here and you got somebody else. You think that, I have this great actor that it's, a friend of mine. I'm gonna write something for him and exploit as much as I can of his amazing talent. Let's do this. So that kind of things are, that motivates me to write things.
Okay, nice. So how was it working with Joshua? Because it's kind of one of his first larger films. It seems like that
Joshua,
kind of done.
For
Josh,
it was great.
We met him back in 2012 when we were showing Here Comes the Devil at Fantastic Fest. He had Graceland there, and he and Theo Brooks approached us, and they were like, "We love Here Comes the Devil. Like, we would like to make something with you guys." And then we started to develop a project with them, but it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we stopped doing that. We did Late Faces, and now for Scherzo, we had another project that also fell apart. So we reached out to Josh and we said, "Hey, are you interested in making this film? It's like tighter and smaller than the other project we were trying to make." And he was like, "Yes, I'm in.
Okay.
I've been dying to work with you guys." And then he gathered the rest of the investment for the film, with all the other guys, Alex, Mario, Vince, the rest of the co-executive producers, and he's been very supportive of our film. He's not been like, "I don't like this," or other people that put their money into films that they will be like, "Oh, it's just bad," or "This is nasty," or something. He's been very supportive. I think he has this artist background. He's very into arts and art and making stuff. So he understands the process of creativity and making films. So he's been a very supportive executive producer, and it's been very helpful to have him around. He's he has this energy also. He's always smiling. So there's no way that you could be angry making this film.
Yeah, and you always feel with him. He gives you a lot of confidence, and it's
he's
you never feel like things can go wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think every character is a new experience, and you have to face it and approach it in a very different way. What I was very interested about Aram, for me was to create a character, not in the common way of putting things to create something, not in the opposite way, just to take out things to get into the inner part of a person. And I was very interested about the little details. I think this character, it's not also technically as an actor, the character too is about precision. Okay. I think that's one word that I have all the time when I was shooting as an actor, because of the focus and a lot of things that have to be very precise, and the character have to be very precise. And when that precision breaks, all his universe breaks. But I was very interested too in little details. I get upset as a person with when people make something that it's out of what we normally used to see in people. If someone starts making this, or I don't know, what I love all that kind of little things, and I was very interested to bring that to a character, to make something more that the inside of this character that would be more complex, and you can see that it's to make what happened inside is more interesting than that's what happening outside. I have the idea of a character that half of the time is his eyes is always open up, but half of the time he's watching and the half of the time he's like watching inside himself.
Okay.
Like I was interested in that kind of things, like something that it's there but it's not there, like it's so as an audience could be like more interested, like what's happening inside, it's more complex and interesting that it's what's happening outside, but I don't know exactly what's happening inside. So that for me was like, and to make some little details that for me as a person, as an actor, they're fascinating for people. And I don't know, like for example, I like a lot, or I realize that I talk a lot with myself when I'm alone. And and it's like I want to bring that to this character.
Yeah.
A character that it's always talking to himself.
Okay.
Talking to himself, talking to himself, talking to himself, talking to himself. And I was just like talking to myself when I was making this character. So that approach was completely different from what I did in Here Comes the Devil. Like Here Comes the Devil, it was very like it was something that happens, and then you have to figure out what happened, what really happened. And I only have one way of thinking. And this character is so complex because he interacts very different with each character. So that's why I think it's that the complexity would be more interesting if it lives inside himself, but you didn't never see it, but you know that's there, that he's always inside.
Okay.
That's what's the different approach.
Great. Yeah. So one's more reactionary with like Here Comes the Devil, whereas the other one you can really see just kind of working through everything. That's
I think it's more complex character than the character of Here Comes the Devil.
Yeah, and also the thing that he pointed out, that he's got like different, like almost like different personalities. It depends on who is he interacting with, you know, the way that he acts, and when he wears a mask, he becomes somebody else also. So it's like there's all these different levels that, you know, it's all part of the same person. You know, I wouldn't say that he's a schizophrenic or something like that. It's just that he's got these different layers, and he knows where to use each layer or each, you know,
each character.
Yeah.
And he's not a brilliant person, and he's not a really brilliant person. He has to write. He have to plan. He have to always be like
worker.
little by little by it's more about that, and that's why at the end everything broke, because he's not a brilliant person.
Okay.
And I was very fascinated with that. That you can read something and say like, oh, this is a brilliant person. So like, but why if we approach the other way? Why if he's not brilliant and he tried to and he pretends to but he's not?
Great, awesome. That's great. Okay, so you're churning out movies about like 1 to 2 each year. How many are you writing? Are you just constantly writing films?
I'm constantly writing, and I've been writing since I was 15 years old. So, you know, I've written, I lost the number, but it's like more than 40 scripts.
Wow.
So, you know, it's something that I think you need to do, you know, to keep writing and keep developing ideas and have like projects for different, you know, when a producer approach or you have a certain opportunity to, you know, have something of the right size, like see that kind of person, what kind of interest can he have on, you know, what type of project, and have something, because sometimes also those windows, you know, to find the opportunity of make a movie, they open for a very, you know, brief time, and if you don't have something right there to say, you know, we can rewrite this or work on this, you know, but here's the basis, then it's, you know, you're probably gonna lose the opportunity.
Okay. So I want to go back to Bigfoot, your short film for ABCs of Death. What made you kind of change it up from like the stereotypical Bigfoot, into more of like a human?
A human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me it was an interesting thing. I was interested. This was right before Here Comes the Devil, and I was interested in working with with kids and the perspective of a kid in horror film. And I think that my approach in that aspect was that I wanted something that can be more, funny and
ridiculous.
and dialogue driven than something very visual. because I felt like, you know, with so many great directors on the film, like it was, you know, I couldn't pull off something, you know, visually very spectacular or anything. So I wanted to focus on the characters, and yeah, you know, to try to make like a very, you know, impactful or, you know, brutal character appearing at the end would have been, you know, impossible to make. So it was more like going to the opposite. You know, she's expecting and she's thinking this is this legendary character, and what we see is actually is just a guy.
Just a guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I was wondering about that. Yeah, that's good. So what's in the works for next year, I guess?
Right now we're like
for the first time ever, we don't have like something concrete, you know, like about to happen.
Yeah,
we have a lot of stuff, you know, like
yeah,
moving around, but we don't know what we're going to shoot or if we're going to shoot something this year. We hope, of course, we want to do that because we need to have another film next year here.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's our new goal.
But we're also, you know, trying to enjoy.
Yeah, because
you know,
it was a
what's going
very crazy year, like 2014. So we're trying to relax and enjoy, like going to as many festivals as we can with this film. You know, because it's also one we like put together.
In a more personal way.
In a more personal way.
So
yeah,
we want to be closer to the reactions of the audience and see, you know, what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. How about you? Any films coming up in the future?
Yes, I'm working in films that different kind of films. I not only work in general, I work in a lot of indie films. They're very different. Yeah, I have some films that are coming that right now they're in post production. Some are just developing to shoot this year, and I have to finish one film that I just in the middle. But yeah, there's a lot of things happening. I work a lot in theater too. So, yeah. Great. So I'm touring a lot all the time. So yeah, it's a lot of things are coming.
Awesome.
I hope so.
Yeah. Great. Awesome.
Well, there's an atmosphere. I mean, certainly the Stanley Hotel itself has got this great history. It's the connection to The Shining. It's haunted. So atmospherically, there's something really special about it. And the fact that the entire film festival takes place here at the hotel, everyone's staying here, there's something very kind of all-consuming and intimate about it.